Mountaineer, I'm going to ignore you the most. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. All right, here's the upgrade projections on the hitter side for the August 19th roster update coming out just a few days. Morning stream here for those of you on Twitch. Folks on YouTube should be getting this Wednesday afternoon. All right, we're doing the new thing now where we build up. We start with the guys who are lower rated and build up to the studs. We used to go the other way, but there's no build up to the freaking to the studs. So let's start right now with Jock Peterson. I expected a little bit more out of Jock Peterson this year, but I will say this has actually been a pretty good year for the way he's kind of transitioning. His OPS the last 7 days, 14 days, and 28 days are as follows: 1438, 1239, and 1046. So it's going down with the bigger the sample, of course, but it's still elite even when you look over the last month. So he's just been great. I'm actually going to give him a real big boost. Now this is going to be an interesting one where it could be one of those where, I know I said where like 50 times there, but it could be one of those with the upgrade to the right is negated by a downgrade against left. So I'll spoil that a little bit ahead of time here and let you know that he is going to hit a downgrade against lefties. There's no real way to avoid it, and that's unfortunate, but that's what we got to do here with Jock. So let's look at what we're doing for him against righties. We're sending Jock up 10 points in his contact to a nice little 58, but then 8 points on his pop. He's been a monster against righties. So here's what he's done this year: 272, 360, 552. Cut his strikeout rate a whole bunch and has 17 bombs. Huge numbers against righties. I mean, that's really good against righties. 58, 88. I can work with that. Like that's what does Mike Schmidt have? I know he's got like a 59 contact. The power's probably higher, but it's Mike Schmidt-esque against righties. Granted, he is a lefty, but it's still really good. Against lefties, though, guys, I gotta move him down. 4 points and 10 points. It's just got to be done. This is his line against lefties this year: 105 average, 222 on base, 211 slug, with just 1 homer and 46 plate appearances. The fact is, they might leave him alone against lefties because he doesn't play, and so they could just kind of leave him static. But I think that they're probably going to give him a downgrade. He's 0 for his last 14 against lefties. Now that's come over the span of like a month and a half, maybe 2 months, because they never play him. But in that same time against righties, he's got a 330 average, 416 on base, and 659 slug. So he's been great. And I did mention that his strikeout rate has improved. It's still 25%. You're still striking out a quarter of the time. That's still too high. But coming from where he was in the 30s, it's good, and I think it deserves a plate vision boost up to 33. So 10 points, nothing crazy there. So he's a 75 right now. Let's see what this does, if this even gets him really much of an upgrade. The thing of it is, sometimes a guy can get an upgrade and not really move, and overall he does get a point, but still be a much better player. And I think that's the case here. It's not a game-changing upgrade in terms of his overall, but it's certainly helpful in how he plays. Next one's a revisit from last week, again, just because he's continued to hit well, and I want to keep him firmly entrenched on the radar as I feel more and more confident that Jose Ramirez is worthy of an upgrade here. Now, he was last upgraded on June 3rd for Jose Ramirez, and I think we called that one. Little wink there. Since then, 306 average, 350 on base, 446 slug with 5 homers and 15 stolen bases. For a full season, that'd be a pace of 14 homers and 40 stolen bases. Pretty great player, especially from a fantasy angle. So I'm going to move his contact up against righties up to 72. He's got a 10% strikeout rate and 308 batting average against righties. That's awesome. Now against lefties, he's going 321, 378, 447. That's really good. So we're going to go 5 points there and then move the pop way up. This is his biggest jump here. We're moving it up 20 points to 57. Got to get a big jump there. He's got an 839 OPS this year against lefties. It was 574 last year, so he's still going to take a hit, but 65-57 is not earth-shattering against lefties. So I think it still factors in the fact the point that he was bad against lefties last year, but he's making advances. He is a young player, so I think we can show some growth here. They might not go as hard as I did on his left here. They might go closer to 62, 52 or something like that, bump off a handful of points from each. But either way, I think he deserves a big upgrade there. And I want to get that speed moved up. I mentioned those stolen bases on purpose. I mentioned 15 just since his upgrade on June 3rd. He's got 76% success rate this year, already 19 stolen bases, which is a career high. He has a 76% stolen base rate for his career. 72% is like break even. That means you're doing enough. So 76%, that's a high quality base stealer. So I'm moving his speed up to 72 and his steal up to 65. Nice upgrades there. All right, let's see where that moves Jose Ramirez. He's up to an 83. That's a nice jump there from 77 to 83. I think he needs to be silver pretty much no matter what. And obviously he doesn't need all the upgrades I just gave him to get there. I think we'll see him get there. All right, next up. And for those of you just coming into the stream here, we are moving in building order now. We're doing it differently than we used to. We're starting at the bottom of the guys that we're working with and moving up to the studs. So if you're waiting on a particular gold or a particular diamond to see, we're just getting started on the hitters, so stay tuned. All right, next up, Trey Turner. He just got upgraded to silver, and he absolutely deserved it. That was on August 5th. Since then, he has not stopped hitting at all. 317 average, 333 on base, 585 slug. That power is really coming through. 2 homers, 7 of his 13 hits have gone for extra bases. He's got a 211 ISO this year. That's really good. He had 169 in the minors, and he has a 144 for his career in the minors. So he's really shown a power gain. Now, is it stable? Not yet, but it's been pretty substantial. 12 of his 28 hits against righties have gone for extra bases. Good for a 265 ISO, so he's really crushing righties. We got to get him a huge power boost here. Not even to a level that's, that much above average, but we got to get him out of the 20s and just into the 50s, I think. I'll admit that could be a little bit aggressive. They might only get him into the 40s, but I'm gonna go a little bit aggressive here. I will freely admit that. Now, he's got a 178 ISO against righties this year when you combine his minors and major league work. So that's still pretty good too. 178 is not super power hitter, but he's a speedy middle infielder. So 178 for Trey Turner is really not bad at all. He doesn't really play against lefties, so I'm not really messing with his numbers against lefties. I think it's totally fine. I think we just got to kind of leave him alone, So let's see what this does for Trey Turner here. 3 points up to an 84, so not quite a gold. I don't think he should be a gold necessarily, not yet. I mean, he's got the good speed, he's got solid fielding, and he's a contact guy. He's really on the fringe of gold. It's those base running numbers that really get him up there. He's got 3 positions as well. I don't know if that really impacts anything though or not. All right. Next up, Chris Davis. The best Chris Davis in the league right now, by the way. No doubt about it. Not really doing a whole lot here. Just got to get one thing right. He's got elite power in back-to-back seasons. 258 ISO last year, 259 this year. He's been murking righties, absolutely crushing them. I'm just giving him a 10-point upgrade again in power against righties, up to 88. That's it. That simple. Boom, up to an 84, becomes the best player on the team. From 81 to 84. All right, another 81. We got 3 81s here. This one's on the Mets. You guys want to guess who it is in your heads? Go ahead. It's Neil Walker. He was last upgraded on May 6th, a long time ago, but just for the record, he's got a 280 average, 350 on base, 444 slug since then. However, I'm kind of focused in on his last month specifically, where he's really gotten hot again. Remember, he started off blazing hot, one of the best players going. They're like Daniel Murphy, who, even though Daniel Murphy was crushing, Neil Walker was matching him hit for hit, and it was just like, wow, they didn't lose out on this deal. He cooled down. Murphy stayed hot, got better actually, and so then it's like looked a little bit unbalanced. But lately, Walker's been back on a huge kick. Last 28 days, 393, 432, 640 with 6 homers. I think we're going to sit tight against righties here. This is pretty good number, 72-70. That works. But he's really hitting lefties this year. He's a switch hitter, so it's nice to see him kind of get some balance. He's had issues in the past where he's a little bit imbalanced. Best numbers ever against lefties this year. He only had a 575 OPS against lefties last year, so I don't think they can go too crazy because of that, but he's been so good against them this year with the career best numbers. I think they're going to give him a boost. So I'm looking at, so here's what he got. On May 6th, he got +6 and +20 against lefties. I'm going to put that in half. I'm just going to go +3 and +10. Not going ham here. 330 average against a career 269, so he's way above average there. 8 homers this year against lefties. He had 6 in his previous 758 at-bats against lefties. Can you believe that? So he's got 8 this year. I don't even know how many at-bats. Doesn't matter. It's the max that it is probably like 150 against lefties for Neil Walker. Compare that to 6 in 758. So it's a major power spike. It's completely against what he's done. So we can't just judge it off of that. We have to account for the fact that he's still had issues with lefties in the past. Now he has made changes with the hitting coach there, Kevin Long. So I think this is something that we can believe in, but we can't just move him up to like 80 power against lefties because he looks like an 80 power just this year. We still have to consider what he's done previously. That's going to be an upgrade of a couple points. So he's going to go from 81 to 83. I don't know, some people already like this card. You're going to like it even more now. I mean, that's nice and balanced. You can play him at second base. Defense is not great, but I don't know, good BR card. I know Brady, Boy 14, uses him. He slots him in every once in a while in his regular team. It's just one of those guys that he hits well with. So I'd say take a shot on him, especially if you're looking for a second baseman. Can't hurt. Now, we were ahead of the curve on Charlie Blackmon. We were talking about an upgrade for him a couple weeks ago. I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. We mentioned a Charlie Blackmon upgrade. Well, now he's just been hitting multi-homers and just homers left and right. Now he's on the radar. Now he's gonna get an upgrade, or the hype alone is gonna make him a worthy investment that you can sell before the rush. He's just been absolutely insane. I'm going to do a similar thing that I did for, who was that? Jock Peterson, where we're looking at his OPS over the last 7, 14, and 28 days. 1859, 1435, 1123. Again, it moves down, of course, as the sample gets bigger. That's not the surprise. The fact that it maintains elite level all 3 time periods shows you what he's doing right now. He has a 100-point jump in slugging against righties this year. He's just absolutely mashing. I'm going to give him a couple ticks there, but then a 10-point jump in power against righties up to 77. 257 ISO, a career high, 18 homers against righties, just huge. Now, I'm only messing with the contact against lefties right now. 3-point upgrade, 342 average, 14% strikeout rate. It hasn't come with a lot of power, and he's had struggles with lefties in the past, so you know, we're keeping it modest at 73, 50, but I really like this card. I'm amazing with Charlie Blackmon, and I really should find a way to get him in my lineup more, but it's tough just because I have other cards that I do really well with. His defense is, it's not horrible, but it's not great, especially that arm, so it's tough to use him, but I absolutely rake with this card. I've been raking with him from day one. Now, part of that is the fact that I used him on day one, so I was in the lower levels, and so that might be influencing a little bit. But even when I've dabbled, you know, just slotted him in the lineup every once in a while, now that I'm in CS, he still continues to hit. So, I don't know. He's been incredible. I really like what I'm seeing out of Charlie Blackmon. I'd like to investigate his arm. I don't think he has a great arm, but man, if he did, wish he just, man, can we just get him Rookie of the Year where his arm gets messed up a little bit and it becomes amazing? Because then he'd be an automatic used card. All right. It's like the 44th time that I've tried to do this, but I just don't see how he doesn't deserve another one. Why are they trolling us? Why don't they want any Braves to be damn golds? Freddie Freeman, or as we call him in my stream, Freef. Come on, Freef. That's F-R-E-E-F, for those of you that are wondering. Freef was last upgraded on July 8th. Since then, 299, 415, 641. Obscene. That's a 40 with 9 homers, by the way. That's a 46 home run pace. Now that's just since July 8th, so that's about a month plus. And you don't usually take 1 month plus and say, oh, this is what he would do over 4 seasons. But I'm just expressing the magnitude of what he's done. That'd be a 46 homer pace if it was a full season. It's an elite line. He improves yearly against righties. And this year, he's at, this is just since his upgrade against righties. 337, 434, 687. He's got a 271 ISO against righties. That's 16th in the league. He's got a 224 ISO since 2014. That's 22nd in baseball. What are we doing here? He's 43rd in power versus righties in terms of ranking. If you just stack up where his 80 lists, it's 43rd. That's nuts. I'm giving him a 5-point boost to 84. Power versus lefties, 4 points up to 55. He's got a 212 ISO against lefties this year. He's popping them. I don't think there's really necessarily need for contact upgrades, although they could be there. The fact is, we need 1 point to get him to freaking gold. I don't know how he's not a gold player. I just don't see how he's not. But they haven't upgraded him yet, so maybe I'm the sucker. But I'm going to the well one more time. Hey, we kept going to the well with Danny Duffy and Justin Verlander, and we got it done. So maybe, right? All right, we got 3 more here. Next up is a guy on a new team, absolutely dominating. What is up, Jonathan Lucroy? He was last upgraded on June 17th. Since then, 270, 341, 487. Excuse me, bit my tongue there. 487 with 9 homers and 3 stolen bases. So he's even running a little bit. So he's got a career best versus righties this year, and he's bounced back against lefties, including a huge power surge. He was bad against lefties last year, which is weird because he's always dominated them. So it's kind of interesting. That's why they say, though, you don't own your splits against a certain handedness for a really long time, statistically speaking, and they can just go haywire on you in a given year. Especially lefties, because you don't face a ton. So each year it's a pretty small sample, and like, you know, if you run up on a West Coast swing where you face Kershaw, Bumgarner, and, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another lefty who's halfway decent in that. I was going to say Patrick Corbin. He's been brutal this year. Let's say last year when he was pitching well. So you get Bumgarner, Kershaw, and Corbin all in last year on a West Coast swing, and you go basically 0 for 9 against them. That's a big portion of your versus lefty that year if you do nothing against them. So I'm just saying he was bad last year. It's not who he is. Let's get to the upgrades. We're going +5 on the power against lefties. Against righties. 208 ISO versus a 144 career, so he's way up. He has 12 homers already. He's 1 away from a career high in 140 fewer plate appearances, so he's crushing it. Now, I did have to crush him a little bit here. He got off to a bad start this year against lefties as well. 1, 2, 3. And so he has just a 232 average and a 20% strikeout rate. But that's with a 222 batting average on balls in play. So I think it's been a little bit unlucky. 296 average and 15% career strikeout rate against lefties. So he's been better in the past. However, the pop has been there. So we're going to move this all the way up to 59, a 10-point boost. He has a career high 7 homers with a 233 ISO. So he's been been pretty good with the power. This power surge has been really interesting. Now, I mentioned the stolen bases earlier. I'm not doing anything with it. I just wanted to mention that he's been getting them. I don't know that we're really going to move up his stealing, or that even if I gave him a 30-point upgrade up to 44, would any of you be stealing with Jonathan Lucroy? I hope not. It'd be a bad idea. Either way, those are his upgrades. Moving up the power. That's really the big change here. Let's see what it does. Moving it from an 86 to an 88. All right, if there was somebody on the Red Sox that you guys would want upgraded, who could it possibly be? Mookie Betts? No, you guys don't want him upgraded. I know you guys are waiting desperately for that Steve Beltran upgrade. Okay, I'll do it. I wasn't going to do it, but I'll give you that Steve Beltran upgrade. Steve Beltran, here's the thing. He's laid down 42 drag bunts in the last 9 games. Most of them have gone for hits. I don't know how he has a 2 drag bunting. I got to get that up. I'm moving it way up, guys. I'm getting aggressive. I'm putting him up to an 84. Now, his overall bunting ability has been good for so long. I just don't know how they're ignoring it. So I got to get this up to a 93. I think they missed the boat on Steve Beltran's bunting. And those are the only upgrades that we're doing for Steve Beltran, but hey man, he's probably lit now. Where is Steve Beltran? You guys were waiting for it, a 74, man. Woo! Alright, I think that's going to do it for all the upgrades on this team, right? No? Oh, you guys did want Mookie Betts to be upgraded. Or Mookie Mets, as I like to call him. Okay, my bad. Thought y'all wanted that Steve Beltran upgrade. I guess not. Mookie, then Steve Beltran. My bad. I know some of you sitting on 30, 40 Steve Beltrans, so his freaking brother Carlos, don't invest in him. You got to get the rookie Steve Beltran. All right, guys. Mookie has been out of his ever-loving mind. Absolutely insane. Contact versus righties. Let me get 5 points. Let me get him up to a 90. He's got a 324 average, 13% strikeout rate. Those rank 10th and 24th in baseball. He's got the 6th best batting average right versus righty. So just same-handedness, right on right. 6th best batting average. His power versus lefties, it's funny here. All I put was power versus lefties. I didn't put how much I wanted to upgrade it. So we're going to do that together here. He's got plus 100 in his ISO this year, a career best 551 slug, 7 homers and 105 plate appearances just this year for Mookie Betts. He had 6 in 222 plate appearances before that. We're going to go 6 points, 82. And that's it. That's all I need. That's all I need to do right now. However, I've got something else. Let me do this first. This takes him from a 92. See what that does. That to a 93, so it gets him where we want him, to diamond. However, I think he needs an arm upgrade, man. I don't know why he's at a 54, 53. I've watched him, and I don't see it. I see a guy that he does not have like Marcelo Zuna's arm. You know, I'm not even going to say that. But I absolutely think that he's got a better arm than he's been given credit for. And guess what? This is going to surprise you guys. I've got numbers to back it up. He has 19 assists since 2015. That's the 13th most in baseball. I think he has, I didn't write it down, which is stupid. I think he has 10 this year. Already, or 9 this year. Either way, I think it's 9 and 10, the split. And that has him similarly like top 15 in baseball this year. So I just went from since 15 to kind of give the full year plus of work, and he's 13th. So how's he got such an inaccurate arm, right? One or the other needs to be upgraded. Maybe he doesn't have the most arm strength and he is accurate, or maybe he only has more strength than they're giving him and the accuracy isn't quite there. But it's more likely both. So I'm moving up both. I'm moving up the arm strength, 11 points. It's not even that great still, to be honest. And I'm moving up the accuracy 12. I'm going 65, 65. And again, that's not even, you're not dying to put him in right now. He probably should be even higher than this, but I think this is at a base what we need right now. All right, that moves him up big time, y'all. That moves him up to a 96. And probably a 99 at different positions. Let's see what it would do in center. Okay, moving down in center, that makes sense. But then left, 98, and then second, probably 99. Yep, makes sense. So, I don't know, man. I watched this guy. I saw him in the Arizona Fall League. This is not a Johnny Damon arm, and he has Johnny Damon arm ratings. I frankly believe that he should probably be 70s in both. Let's just do that. This is not official, but let's just say 70-70. Like, that still leaves him at a 96. Excuse me. The fact is, even without it, you can hide him in left. You can put him at second. If you don't have Mookie Betts in your lineup, but you have him on your team, like you have him available, I don't know what you're doing. Unless you just flat don't hit with him, in which case I get it. Not everybody hits with every good player, but my goodness, he's so good. I've got my main team, and then I have something called the stream team that I do for those of you that are watching on YouTube, twitch.tv/psport24. Come watch. We do the stream team a couple times a week. It's just a team where I bought a $10 bundle, and then the rest has been from support from the viewers to get different players. And one of the first players we got was Mookie Betts. We just had to get him on the team. We'll find a spot for him. We worked him in at second base, left field, even a little bit of right when I think we first got him, if I recall correctly. But either way, he's been a monster. He needs to move up. 96, that's with the offense. Or that's with the defensive upgrade. Let me go back to the 65s that we were at, because that's official. I really think it's high time that they move him up in offense. But even if they don't, I think we found enough offense to get him up to a 93. No matter what, I think he should be a diamond. That's all. All right, last one. Best player in the universe. Not really, but I love Miguel Cabrera, so I gotta say that. Unfortunately, he just got nicked. I think it's a bicep, unfortunately. Very frustrating. But Trevor Story got hurt right before he got upgraded. So getting hurt does not preclude you. Plus, Trevor Story went on the DL. Miguel Cabrera is just day to day. So I don't think they're going to forget to upgrade him just because he got nicked. All right. He was downgraded on May 12th. Let me just say, and this is as a Tigers fan, I admit there's a little bit of bias creeping in. That might have been a touch early. To be downgrading Miguel Cabrera on May 12th. But I get it. The power was off a little bit last year. It might have been looking a little doom and gloom. It's weird sometimes, though, right? When we see the best guys struggle, we almost panic more than when we see the mid-level or worse guys struggle. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But either way, he got downgraded on May 12th. Maybe it wasn't deserved. Maybe it was. Since then, 319 average, 394 on base, 593 slug with 23 bombs in 363 plate appearances. That's a 45 home run pace over a full season. His last 28, 281, 401, 465 with 9 homers. His last 2 months against lefties only, 396, 484, 698 with 5 bombs and 62 plate appearances. He started slowly against lefties, and that's where he took a hit in May. He got -4 and -5. Well, you know what? We're giving him right back. +4, +5. Look at that against lefties then. His power versus righties is back on track. 579 slug, 259 ISO, 21 homers. That's the highest since 2013. PVR, which is power versus righties, +10, 84. Let's freaking go. Miguel Cabrera goes from beast to super beast, 94 to 98. So there it is. Crush City. Call me biased. Get the biases in the chat. Get the biases in the comments on Twitter. Bring it on. I don't care. Miguel Cabrera, lit as hell. Amazing. You're lucky I didn't raise the drag bunt just cuz. Speed looking a little light. Let's get him up at 25, 30 point upgrade in speed. Don't make me freaking make him a straight 99 across the board and mess with all y'all, okay? Cut it out. All right, to review the offense. Jock Peterson, 75 to 76. Jose Ramirez from Cleveland, 77 to 83, new silver. Justin Turner, 81 to 84, not quite gold. No, excuse me, that's Trey Turner. Justin Turner was last week. That's Trey Turner, 81 to 84, Washington Nats. Chris Davis from Oakland, 81 to 84. Neil Walker, 81 to 83. Charlie Blackmon, 84 to 86, new gold. Freddie Freeman, 84 to 86, new gold. Jonathan Lucroy, 86 to 88. Mookie Betts, 92 to 93, new diamond. 92 to 96 if they also upgrade his defense, and they should. Miguel Cabrera, new amazing best player in the universe, 94 to 98. Let's